Welcome. Today, we travel back more than 100 years into the deep forests of northeast Thailand. This is the story of Ajahn Mun Bhūridatta, one of the most respected Thai forest monks. His life shows us courage, discipline, and the power of a peaceful mind. The beginning. Ajahn Mun was born in 1870 in a small farming village. His family grew rice, lived simply, and worked hard. But even as a young boy, Mun felt a quiet pull inside him. He wanted to understand the mind. He wanted to understand suffering. He wanted to find peace. At age 22, he became a monk at Wat Liab. He received the name Bhūridatta, meaning blessed with wisdom. But the early years were not easy. When he meditated, many strange images appeared in his mind. Lights, shapes, figures, scenes. Instead of feeling calm, he felt restless and unsure. Something inside told him that if he wanted to find the truth, he must stop looking outside. He must turn his attention inward. This moment became the great turning point of his life. Becoming a wanderer. Ajahn Mun chose the path of the Tudong monk, a monk who wanders through forests and mountains to train the mind. He walked across the Mekong River into Laos with his teacher, Ajahn Chah. They lived in places so wild that few people ever passed through. At times, they almost died from malaria. They had no medicine. Their bodies burned with fever. The only thing keeping their minds steady was the word Buddha, repeated again and again. They slept under trees. They drank from streams. They walked barefoot through forests filled with tigers, snakes, and storms. This was the path they chose to strengthen the heart. The 13 austere practices. Ajahn Mun followed the 13 Dhutangas, strict practices meant to remove pride and desire. He ate only from his alms bowl. Everything given by villagers, sweet, bitter, spicy, was mixed together. This taught him not to cling to taste. He lived in forests and caves. These lonely places became his training grounds. He meditated in cemeteries. He sat near fresh cremation sites facing fear directly. By looking at death, he learned how to let go of attachment to the body. These practices shaped him into a monk with deep discipline and an unshakable mind. Meeting villagers and their fears. In many villages, people had never seen a monk walking alone from the forest. When Ajahn Mun arrived with his umbrella tent and yellow robe, some villagers thought he was a spirit. Others hid in their homes. Fear ruled their lives. In many places, people worshipped local ghosts or forest beings. They made offerings because they were scared, not because they had faith. Ajahn Mun stayed calm. He never forced anyone to believe him. He simply lived with kindness, patience, and honesty. One famous story comes from Ban Thum, a village suffering from smallpox. Families were terrified. Some parents believed ghosts caused the disease. They begged Ajahn Mun to leave so he would not anger the spirits. But he stayed. He taught them that fear makes the heart weak. He encouraged them to trust in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Slowly, the people found courage. They began to chant. They began to meditate. And the fear in the village slowly disappeared. Ajahn Mun did not fight spirits. He helped people fight fear inside themselves. The midnight realization. Many years later, in the mountains of northern Thailand, Ajahn Mun reached the deepest turning point of his spiritual path. One night, close to midnight, his mind entered a deep stillness, what he later called Appana Samadhi, the highest steadiness of concentration. In that moment, his long-standing illnesses vanished. He no longer needed sleep. His body felt full of strength, light, and calm. His mind was firm, bright, and free of doubt. He never claimed any special achievement. He lived simply, spoke gently, and taught quietly. But senior monks who knew him, like Chowkun Upali, said that the depth of his understanding could only come from someone who had reached the highest level of practice. Ajahn Mun had crossed the inner jungle. The lineage. He left behind. Ajahn Mun passed away in 1949, but his teachings spread across the world through his students. Ajahn Chah, Ajahn Maha Boowa, Ajahn Viriyang, and many others. These monks carried his forest traditions into cities, into other countries, and into the modern world. They taught meditation in simple, clear words, just like Ajahn Mun did. They showed that peace is possible even in busy lives. They showed that the mind can be trained anywhere. The story of Ajahn Mun is not just about forests, danger, or strict practices. It is about courage. It is about the strength of the human heart. It is about learning to face fear, doubt, pain, and confusion, and seeing through them. Ajahn Mun showed that the real jungle is not outside. The real jungle is inside the mind. And he proved that anyone with patience and sincerity can walk through that jungle and find peace on the other side.